What is going on, YouTube? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards. Talk some basketball today. That's right, YouTube people. Back to the hoops again. I wanted to hop on and just kind of break down some players, some thoughts from the NBA trade deadline and how it could possibly impact some prices of some players in the short term and the long term. And you know, we're not saying like run out and buy these guys. In some cases, we've already missed the window, to be quite frank. But it's more about if you have these guys already, it might not be a bad time to sell them, or in some cases, it might not be a bad time to get into some of these guys. So I got a list of let's see, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. A little more than 8. 8 plus 1, 8.5. Guys that we're going to talk about and just kind of break them down real quick. So before we get into it, YouTube stuff down below, like, comment, sub. And if you're wondering where all the fancy charts and graphs come from, they come from Market Movers. The link is in the description below. I say it at the top of almost every video, and almost in every video, someone asks in the comments. So yeah, let's rock and roll. First up, the Joker. I think the Nuggets were one of the biggest winners of the trade deadline and probably improved themselves the most. Hence why the Joker's on here, because I honestly think if they can get their win total up a little bit, he is probably your NBA MVP. It was announced today that LeBron's out for another 3 to 5 weeks, so he has no shot for sure. Lakers are going to fall down in the standings. And the Nuggets should rise, in my opinion, with the addition of Aaron Gordon. That team looks formidable now. Not that Gordon's like, you know, the best thing since sliced bread, but he is a very good NBA player. And I will be curious to see how he fits in with the Nuggets squad. You know, you're running out Murray, MPJ, Gordon, and the Joker now is a pretty nice solid 4 with whoever you want to throw out there at the 2 spots. They have a few different guys that they could squeeze into there. But yeah, the Nuggets seem like the clear winner of the deadline, in my opinion. Them and the Bulls, honestly, as crazy as that sounds. But to me, Joker should get a price bump. He got a little bit of a one after LeBron went out, but I think it should go up more. They're going to be very, very tough to get out of the playoffs. And if he stays healthy between now and the end of the season, I think he is now your front runner for the MVP without a doubt. I'm going to touch on something here. Just a little not spoiler alert, but a little sneaky sneak for you guys. We talk about star stock a lot on here. Just a little star stock tip for you, because I've definitely made some edges on this, specifically with some of the players that we're going to talk about. That market is very liquid on base cards. It doesn't have the user base at the upper end yet, but you could get some really good deals on graded cards because the market moves fast and people are slow to adjust their prices on graded cards, I've found in some cases. And you could get some pretty nice deals on stuff. Plus, remember, you have to factor in if you even pay slightly under current comps to eBay, you're getting a pretty good deal because you're not paying taxes, you're not paying shipping, and then when you sell it on the flip side, your selling fee is a lot less. So just kind of keep all that stuff in mind. Plus, like I said, prices move, and sometimes the graded stuff on Star Stock doesn't. Spoilers, maybe go look at some Joker stuff on Star Stock. Is where I had just noticed it at on the PSA 9 specifically. Throw that out there as a little nugget for you guys. It looked like it was at least about 20 or 30 bucks under current comps. And you could find a lot of stuff like that, whether you want to buy in the Joker specifically or not. But just as a general star stock tip, keep an eye on graded stuff. People are slow to adjust prices on that when the market shifts. Back to our list. As previously mentioned, Aaron Gordon. Now, this is one we've already missed the boat on. His stuff's low pop. His PSA 10 is a pop 47. I had no freaking idea it was that low, but his raw stuff is flying too right now, and it's already too late. Like, to be quite honest with you, it's already too late. The prices have already jumped. However, the reason I put him on this list, if you have him, already, I would honestly just look to sell him. His stuff is basically almost doubled, it looks like, in some cases, at least for PSA 10s. It's hard to tell because there's just so few of them. But the only ones for sale on the market right now, cheapest one's $425. And the last sale is $200. So there's clearly a price point in the middle where this card is probably actually valued at now with the trade. If I had Aaron Gordon stuff, rookie specifically, I would honestly just sell now. Don't try to get greedy and wait till the playoffs and see what happens. Just sell it now. He's in the news. There's a decent chance that this is going to be the peak of his prices, regardless of, unless he just completely balls out in Denver. And I just honestly don't see that happening. In fact, his numbers are probably actually going to go down because he's now competing with shots with Joker, MPJ, and Jamal Murray. If I had Aaron Gordon, if you have been waiting and you've been sitting on a stash of Aaron Gordon, I would for sure be moving some of it. If you want to hold on to a couple, that's fine. But if you were in the Aaron Gordon to flip him for some reason, your time has arrived. You should have already sold, or it should be on eBay already. So pretty quick and simple on him. Next up, same boat, Zach LaVine. PSA 10, PSA 9, I pulled them both up. Once again, also pretty low pop card, 209. As of recording, the last sale price was $600. But when you look at eBay, active auctions are running, but the cheapest buy it now is $799, basically $800 for a buy it now. Not saying that people are buying at $800, but that's the cheapest buy it now out there. You could probably list it at $700 and sell it pretty quickly. This is another one, and this one's a little more intriguing because, as I mentioned earlier, I do think the Bulls were one of the big winners from the deadline. Nikolai is a huge pickup for them. He's a very, very underrated player. He is very, very good, and they are going to do some damage. Now, I don't think they're coming out of the East or anything crazy like that, but they have definitely locked themselves into a playoff spot and probably maybe even avoid the play-in game with their pickups today. However, I don't know that they're going to get past Milwaukee, a full-strength Philly, a full-strength Brooklyn, maybe even a Boston, maybe even Miami. So if LaVine's stuff spikes because of the Vooch trade, which it looks like it's going to, I would strongly consider selling right now, in my opinion. I think this is a selling opportunity. Like I said, the point of this video wasn't to run out and buy everyone. I think there are some opportunities to sell into the hot market from the NBA trade deadline. There's probably a very decent chance, when we look at the graphs at the end of the week and the week in review, that some of these guys are the biggest movers on the week in terms of prices going up. But I don't know that I see them holding. The Bulls, as good as they are after their trades today, are not winning the Eastern Conference. Sure, might LaVine's prices get a little bit higher if he has some big playoff game or something? Yeah, they could, but they could just as likely go down and they get swept in the first round. Who the hell knows? So if it was me and his stuff spiked and I got into it pretty cheap, I would probably look to move it and take that money and put it into the next thing. That is just my opinion. I have very much come to the mind of get into this stuff. You get a good return on it, move it, get the cash back. Maybe it sells for more a few days later. Maybe it doesn't, but take the profit. If you make a good profit on it, whatever that number is for you, and remember to factor in all the shenanigans, taxes, fees, shipping, all that. But if you could double up or make 30% or whatever, and especially quickly, take the profit, play it safe, move into the next thing or things. So that's what I'd be looking to do with LaVine. If his prices pop, I don't think we 100% know yet, but I'm assume he's going to get a little bit of a bounce here from this. So just keep that in mind. If you have LaVine stuff, track the market very closely and maybe get that stuff up for sale. Same thing with Nikola Vucević. Once again, very low pop count card. There's only 35 of these things. Last one sold, and these have actually been creeping up for a while on spec of the news. You could see back at the end of February, this was a $350 card. Only 3 have sold, but it's up to 600 now. And once again, if we look at eBay, the only one on there right now is $599 and it's not selling. However, if you have any of his stuff laying around, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Doesn't have to be graded. Maybe it's raw. I'm going to go out on a limb and once again repeat the conversation we just had with Zach. This very well could be the peak of his prices because of the hype around the trade. I would honestly just take it and move it and sell it. If we run, I'll be curious actually, if we run this back, is this the highest this stuff has ever been? Yes. So I ran these charts back a year. So if you go all the way back to May 17th through today, this is the highest his cards have ever been. I'm willing to take the bet that there's a decent chance that this is the peak of his prices. If I had anything of his, I would be selling it right now. Once again, I don't believe they're going to make a deep run into the playoffs. Sell it while the market's hot. Take your profits on NV and move on to the next thing. I think this is a selling opportunity if you're in the Nikolai. Next on the list, Chuma Okiki. This is PSA 10 Silver Prism. Base aren't in market movers, but him in general. And he has once again already seen a rise. And this may be another one that we have already priced ourselves, or we're already priced out of it. His stuff flew today. I'm recording this Thursday evening. This will be posting Friday morning. Honestly, if I had his stuff and I got into it dirt cheap, I would probably be looking to sell off at least a large portion of it. Set aside maybe your best couple stuff. If you're big in the Chuma, move a lot of your base stuff, maybe set a couple silvers aside or whatever. But if I had a decent chunk of him, I personally would be looking to move off of some of it. Because once again, he's getting a lot of hype right now because of the illusion, not the illusion. There's a good chance playing time is going to open up for him. But who knows what he's going to do with it. He's also been a little finicky with injuries so far in his rookie season. And yeah, he's a cool project player, but let's be honest, guys. There's at least a 70% chance this is the highest his prices are ever going to be. With these young guys, you never know. Yes, you could be selling the next superstar player, maybe. Odds are this is the most expensive he's ever going to be. Or, one of his most expensive points. Maybe he'll dip back down again, have a couple good games, spike back up again, so on and so forth. But I'm assuming if you're into him for very cheap because you picked up his stuff on the low and you've been hoarding it all season. I really think now is your time to sell. So we're going mostly over stuff I think you should be selling right now, not buying. So far, every player we've talked about other than the Joker, I would be selling, in my opinion. Because I think there's a good chance these are all-time high prices for these players or in the top 10 percentile of their prices. And once again, my mindset has really shifted the last couple months to consolidating, moving money out of these smaller players, take your profits where you can, and move it into more established stuff, whether that's, superstar NBA players, which most of the players that we've talked about to this point aren't, except for the Joker, or stuff like comic books, other stuff like that. Next up, he's back. KPJ. This is an interesting one. We're going to get into a couple buys, and this one is risky, extremely risky. So the Rockets traded Victor Oladipo today. John Wall's still on the team, but VO is gone, and that means KPJ should be starting again. So let's run through the last month or so of KPJ. He balls out in the G League. Word comes out that he's going to get recalled. Prices start to go up. This is about right here, right around the NBA All-Star break. Prices start going up. Prices start going up. He comes back and balls out his first couple games. Boom, to the moon. And this is his base Prism PSA 10. So it went from, at the end of February, it was a $75 card. After the G League news, it went to $135. After he had a couple big games, it went to $181. Stayed there for about a week. Then what happened? Oladipo and Wall got healthy. He went to the bench and at the same time tweaked his quad. The last week or two, he has hardly played at all. And when he has played, he's put up very poor numbers because the one game he left early because of the injury, and then the other one he just didn't play that well, and then he's missed like 2 games. What does that cause to happen? It went from 181 down to 107. So we are back down to March 7th prices, and it's trending downward. What happened today? Oladipo got traded to the Heat. Kevin Porter Jr. practiced in full today from his quad injury, fully expecting to return tomorrow. Listen, I know I am biased towards the KPJ. This is a very pro KPJ channel. If he comes back and he's starting and he's healthy, kid's going to put up numbers. Is he a head case? Yes. Is he extremely volatile asset? Yes. To me, this is more of a star stock play. This Kevin Porter Jr. is why the sports card gods invented star stock, because you don't have to worry about a return if his prices dip like what happened here. You don't have to worry about if you sold a bunch of his stuff and then he goes crazy and is found on the side of the road in his car or walking the earth naked or something. You don't have to worry about his stuff getting returned. You could instantly buy, instantly sell, and not have to worry about returns. Now, I bought on Star Stock 5 PSA 10s at around the $100 price point right when the G League news happened. I've sold all my, full disclosure, I own no shares in KPJ on Star Stock. I will gladly show you my portfolio. I own nothing in KPJ. I made a nice mint on KPJ already on Star Stock, and I was looking prior to recording this video of diving back in. I don't know that I'm going to yet. I'm going to wait to see if he is starting. That would be tonight's game, Friday night, and he has no issues with the quad. If I get word that he's in the starting lineup, I am probably going to be diving back into KPJ, because if he balls out again, his prices are going to shoot up again. And I think he's going to get tons of playing time down the rest of the season. I could easily see them shutting John Wall down. Even though they're not buying him out, I can easily see them saying, you know what, John Wall, we just stay at home for a while. And he's been hurt too. I don't even know if he's going to play tomorrow. There is a ton of opportunity for KPJ to get a boatload of playing time if he could stay healthy. I don't know that I would mess with this in the physical world, but I would 100% look at it on Star Stock. And if you're not on Star Stock, the code is down below. I think they're still doing if you sign up and deposit $10, you get an extra $10, and I get $10 if you use the Star Stock code. So if you're not familiar with Star Stock, there's a bunch of videos on the channel talking about Star Stock, but KPJ built for Star Stock. We got 2 more to go over, and then we will get you guys out of here. This is another one, risky one, potential buy. I wouldn't go crazy. OG Anunoby. I think he was playing pretty well the last couple games, and with Norman Powell gone now, yes, Gary Trent's coming in, but OG could get some additional playing time. I don't know that I would run out and buy PSA 10s, but if you could pick his raw stuff up super cheap and just hold it, it's not going to be a big expense. I don't know what his raw prisms go for, but I can't imagine it's very much. Just sit on him, and I could easily see him getting run up in prices next year. You know, you're going to have to sit on it for a little while, in my opinion. He could have some big games. Maybe you could quick flip it. But I think you can get into him pretty cheap and just hold him. And I think he'll be another trendy player in the run up to next season. So OG, potential buy. Once again, not like run out and spend all your money on him, but just someone to file away in the back of your mind. So even if it's not today, maybe during the heat of the NBA playoffs, after the Raptors are officially eliminated, his prices will come down even more, and you could sneak in on him. He's just a young, trendy guy that a lot of guys in the industry kind of love, so he always gets a lot of talk about him. So like in the lead up to next season, there's going to be a lot of, OG Anunoby, like there was this season. And I could see his prices shooting back up a little again. Once again, low dollar flip. You're going to have to hold it for a few months, in my opinion, but you're not looking at a big investment to get into it to start with. So someone to keep on the radar. I wouldn't necessarily run out and buy him right now, but plant the seed. And then the last one, and really this is about CJ McCollum, but I'm including Lillard on here. Other than the Nuggets, I think the Blazers were the other big winner from the trade deadline, picking up Norm Powell. Norm Powell's been playing out of his mind. I'm assuming they're going to run all three of those guys together. That's going to make them not have the greatest defense in the world, but good luck stopping them. And in my opinion, CJ's pretty cheap. He was balling out when the season started, got hurt, was out for a while, and is now back. And at 371 for a PSA 10 pop count of 150 seems pretty low. And with the Lakers issues, in my opinion, anything can happen in the West. They're getting Nurkic back tomorrow or tonight. So you're going to have Lillard, McCollum, Powell, and Nurk, plus Rocco, plus, Melo and Derrick Jones Jr. coming off the bench. That's a pretty good team. And Dame is not one to be messed with. Dame's not like an official run out and buy because he is pretty pricey, but it could be. If you wanted to get into Dame, I wouldn't hate you for it. His PSA 10, I think, was like 3 or 4K last year when he was destroying the Western teams in the bubble, when he was just having monster game after monster game. And he's been playing out of his mind this year. If they got a bunch of wins together, he'll be a dark horse for the MVP if the Nuggets don't get their shit together. So I would at least consider some Dame love. He's not the main target here. I think CJ McCollum's pretty underpriced. But if you're a higher dollar spender and you're looking for some bigger budget items, I would take a hard look at Lillard. So he's the 0.5. We went through 8 guys and he's kind of the half. So that's all I got for you guys today. Like I said, just a little not necessarily everyone on this list you should run out and buy. In fact, I think we talked more about selling into the hype, selling into the news of the trade deadline on most of these guys, I think is the smart play in my opinion. At least if you're making good profit off of your purchase point for it. But have a plan with what you're going to do. I don't know that I would sell just to sell, though I would consider it with some of these players. Anytime you're selling anything, have a plan for what you're going to do with the money that you make from it. What are you going to turn that into, or are you better off just sitting on it? But in my opinion, I would take the profits from a lot of the guys that we talked about today and look to move it into more proven commodities. Sell some Aaron Gordon, take that money, go buy some Luka, some Giannis, some Trae Young, some Ja, some Zion, some LeBron, whatever. Take your pick, but just move it into safer plays. So knowing when to buy is easy. That's the easiest thing there is. We have all these wonderful charts and graphs to tell us when to buy. When to sell is the tricky part, and it's the one that scares people the most, and they get frozen into panic. So maybe that'll be a video one day. We'll talk about the whole buying and selling philosophy and mindsets and all that. So, but that's it. That's all I got. Like, comment, sub, all that YouTube nonsense down below. We will catch you guys on the next one. Next one. I don't know if I'm going to do a video Saturday morning or not. I'm going to hit a card show Saturday morning. There is a one in Canton, Ohio, I believe it is this month or this weekend. I'm going to swing by and check that out Saturday morning. So if anyone in the Northeast Ohio area is going to the Canton Card Show, I will be sneaking around there somewhere, lurking, trying to swing some deals. So maybe I won't have a video post Saturday morning and do something after the card show if I make any pickups or something. I don't know yet. But that's all I got for you guys today. We will catch you guys on either Saturday morning or Sunday morning for the weekend review. Peace.